This is Paul Turner, the immigration barrister at Imperium Chambers. Finally, after the Home Office has tried to get away with it by avoiding the court scrutinising it, they have been caught out. And the conditions in the COVID camps, as I call them, Napier Barracks and Priti Barracks, have been found not suitable for accommodation for an asylum seeker. The High Court have ruled that the Napier Barracks accommodation was inadequate and that combined with prison-like conditions and the risk of contracting COVID-19 made it unsuitable for housing an asylum seeker. I have already commented on the fact that Army Barracks scheme was nothing more than a disgraceful attempt by Priti Patel to gain support for a failed handling of the asylum enforcement issue, and that the camps were more reminiscent of British concentration camps set up in South Africa for the good of the Boers, or 1930s Germany, rather than the decent housing that the people, such as asylum seekers and the most vulnerable, some of whom have been trafficked to the United Kingdom, require. The reason for them being locked up or put there was that the Home Office considered that the general population would consider asylum seekers as second-class citizens, or as certain Germans would have said in the 1930s, described them as untermensch. For those unaware of it, the British kind of created the concentration camps in or around the 1900s in South Africa during the Boer War to essentially deny the Boers from support. And the conditions in them were appalling. A disease ran rife, people died, and it was only finally thrown out when people discovered how bad it is. Priti Patel clearly doesn't know what her history is, because it makes it worse that some 120 people in Napier have COVID. The parallel is striking. I hope and pray that all the people in there that have been caught this awful illness do recover. What makes it even more galling is that the private firm running these awful camps stood to make a cool £1 billion out of keeping asylum seekers held in conditions like cattle. Again, reminds me of 1930s Germany rather than the UK. The effect of this detention is potentially far-reaching. I've had 7 clients released or removed or relocated because to avoid the court looking at it. I thought that the court would find the conditions unlawful. I was right. This opens the door for yet more challenges, and I hope that they are made. If you know of anyone detained in Napier Barracks or Priti Barracks, please get in touch with me and I will do my level best to get them out, because I consider the conditions to be disgraceful, and this is an awful public PR attempt to look tough at a time when we are facing a national crisis. As I said, these things are little more than COVID concentration camps, where people are forced to sleep outside to avoid catching this dreadful disease. So it's good news from the High Court. Not such a good day for Priti Patel, but then she ought to be used to bad days, having had so many of them. And I wonder how long it is before she's reshuffled. Thank you for watching this video. This is Paul Turner, the immigration barrister at Imperium Chambers.